Made a short last week on some shitty games that everyone loves, and now it's time to talk about it in detail. Now, I wouldn't really say all these games are on the level of shit, so it's time to flame these games and maybe see some meltdowns in the comments. Now first up, we've got Days Gone. This game came out on the PS4, but it doesn't feel like a PS4 game. I've played PS3 games that felt better than this game, and there are probably PS2 games that felt better than this game. This game probably feels like a PS1 game, with how dog-ass the gameplay is, with the clunky-ass shooting. It feels like you have a resistance band stretching out from the inside of your asshole to your gun when you try to shoot, and the bike and stealth weren't anything special either. I played this game during quarantine, and there's no way I'm playing it again, so I don't remember the story well, but there was a lot of stupid shit with the story, and it did not need to be however long it was. I think a good portion of the game was just running camp errands, and it didn't really do anything to drive the plot forward. They're basically side missions, just put into the main story. This game's like Bleach, where like 50% of the story is just filler. But the thing with Bleach is that you can actually skip the filler episodes, whereas in a video game, you have to play through every mission of the main story. And a shitty argument I hear from fans is that you gotta wait until you're like 48 hours in for it to get good. But that's just a terrible argument, because the game should have been good from the very beginning. Now, if it's slow at the beginning, that's understandable, because that's completely different. Better Call Saul is a show that's slow at the beginning, but it's still an excellent one, because it has great writing. But saying a video game or show gets good halfway into it is basically saying the first half is a waste of time. And at that point, you might just be convincing yourself it's good after putting so much time and effort into it. So I can never understand that argument. But with that being said, I did finish the game, and shit did not get good. It was alright if I was being generous. The only thing this game has is its visuals. But a sequel isn't going to happen for this game, and even if it does, there's not a shot it's going to be good if the director gets buttered over criticism and says shit like this. Unless you're a barber, criticism is to be expected with any job, especially being a director of a video game. And if this is how you respond to it, there's no way people can take you and your future projects seriously. But the next game I've got is The Last of Us Part 2. After I uploaded the short, I realized I should have kept this game for another video, but it's too late now and I'm just gonna talk about it. And like my short, I'm just gonna be focusing on the story. Now, let's just forget about the ending, cause I'll talk about that in a future video. The story already has other issues with the characters it has to offer. You can't describe anything about Dina or Jesse, cause there is literally nothing other than them being some goofy goobers. There is quite literally nothing else. And spoiler alert, but when this motherfucker gets popped, you do not give a shit cause you had no time to grow with him. And you also won't give a shit about Dina and Ellie's relationship cause the game doesn't give you any reason to like Dina. And everyone hates Abby, but for the wrong reason. Now hating Abby because she kills Joel is understandable cause that's the point. But that doesn't mean you should hate her as a character. It's like Skylar White from Breaking Bad. She is so hateable, but that's the point, which makes them a good character. But the reason why I think Abby sucks as a character is because she stayed the same dickhead the entire game. While you're in the Abby sections, the game tries to trick you and say, hey, kill yourself, you're supposed to like me now. And they kinda do that with Lev and Yara by making her not seem like a selfish dingus, and you get to see parallels with the original Last of Us. But then in the end, she doesn't give a shit about what she's done to Ellie, which makes her seem like an asshole again. So it seems like the game isn't even sure if you should like her or hate her. If you were supposed to like her, then why does she become a rectum at the end? And if you were supposed to hate her, then why did they try and make us like her in the 12 hours of gameplay as her? So yeah, Abby sucks, and so does Tommy, cause this guy did not need to be an asshole all of a sudden. There were also other moments that were stupid, like the aquarium scene that came out of nowhere, Dina pulling the pregnancy card, and some other ones I'm pretty sure, but I'll talk about them more in another video. But the story sucks, and I should have saved this game for another video, but I already mentioned it in my short, so I expanded on it in this video. Before we get into the last game, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications if you think the Super Mario movie has a deeper story than shit-ass Days Gone. But the last game I've got is The Witcher 3. I've already talked so much about this game, so I'm just gonna keep this part brief. And if you want me to expand on my points, then just check this video right here, or just wait until the end of the video. Keep in mind it's an old video and I kinda hate it as well, but most of my points still stand, and I make clarifications in my comments video. But first off, you've got the story with a shit ton of padding. You spend the majority of the game finding leads to find your daughter with no reason to give it an ounce of shit. In the entirety of the game wants you to care about Ciri being in danger and it wants you to save her, but there is not a single reason for you to care about her. Geralt doesn't even seem like he gives a shit cause this motherfucker takes his sweet ass time doing favors for anyone and everyone. It's so hard to play the game when 3/4 of it is trying to find a character that you and Geralt don't seem to give a shit about, while the rest of the game is rushed in the remaining hours. And you got some stupid ass missions on your journey as well. The gameplay is hella clunky as well, and Roach will always come on top of your bed in the middle of the night while you're sleeping as your sleep paralysis demon. The game also has awkward uses of music, mediocre voice acting, and some of the worst technical issues far into the game's lifecycle. That's part of a bigger issue in the gaming industry that I might make a video on later in the future. But I think this is the biggest game that needed criticism, cause a lot of the issues I found in this game are what people had issues with in Cyberpunk. But I don't want to go too deep cause I already talked about these games in these videos right here. If you want to see a part 2 or see me make another list, make sure to leave a like and comment down below. But that's about it. Later.